His opponent this evening, standing across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. He enters the cage with a record of 4 victories, no defeats, representing Predator MMA. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Darius. Your referee in charge of the action, Mr. Paul.
Well, this contest is for the FCC Amateur Bantamweight title. Aaron Cobourne fighting out of the blue corner, representing Team Ronin SSF in the black boxing trunks, taking on Darius Mafi, Predators MMA, in the white armor shorts, and lots of experience in this cage. 10 amateur fights, no losses between both these two.
Absolutely. Darius Mafi looking very solid for a bantamweight, Steve.
Yeah, he does look very thickly set. Both these fighters hold other regional titles. We have a Battle Arena and a Budo FC Amateur Champion. Whoa, big knee up the middle, but Mafi eats that and works his man into the cage, into the ground.
You know, he's got that stereotypical wrestler's build, and he's got that wrestling style as well, of course, coming out of Predators. You come to expect that from those guys.
Joe Silk Cummings in the corner of Aaron Cobourne, a former EFC fighter and title contender. Lots of experience in both corners.
Good sprawl there from Aaron Cobourne.
Very nice, and then disengages when he knows he's not going to get what he wants out of it. Good fight IQ.
I'd be interested to know if Darius Mafi's actually fought at featherweight before, because he's got the height of a bantamweight, but the upper body of a very big bantamweight.
Yeah, I mean, he's very solid.
It's going to fare really well from in these close quarters exchanges in the clinch. And it looks like the game plan from Cobourne thus far is to just stay at range, keep moving, use that speed, make him miss.
Absolutely. Darius Mafi, on the other hand, slowly taking away the space from Cobourne, trying to back him up. Nice little flurry. Cobourne in on the double, underneath the hip, scooches him out.
Brilliant stuff there, Stephen. It wasn't just a flurry, it was the way he transitioned immediately into the takedown. That kind of joined up fighting is really what we like to see here at the top end of the amateur cards at FCC.
Absolutely, one hook in, or trying to get the one hook in, but
yeah, we're at that stage with mixed martial arts where you don't have to be the better striker or the better wrestler if you're the guy that's better at putting it all together.
Absolutely, and here we see Cobourne on the back again, was looking to make Mafi defend that choke attempt. And I mean, positionally, this is on now. He can stay here all day, can Cobourne.
Final seconds of the round. Ticked away there, and he was happy, I think, just to maintain that spot. See Sam Spencer in the corner there. I know he's rehabbing, I can't remember if it's an arm or an elbow injury.
Yep.
All strapped up there. I know he was supposed to compete Cage Wars in Liverpool in a few weeks' time, so all the best to Sam in recovery. Can't wait to see him back in the cage as FCC veteran as well, Steve.
Yep, absolutely, and working the corner alongside Gav Boardman there.
Big knockout in his last FCC appearance to close the show as well. Let's see if the man he's cornering tonight can replicate some of that success.
And again, the corner of Aaron Cobourne. Joe Silk Cummings there, giving the advice. You know, Joe's worked and trained with some of the best in the country. If you think about time at sort of UTC Birmingham when that was existing, Leon Rocky Edwards, Fabian, Yannick Bahadi, the list goes on and on and on. So, touch of gloves and
Nice jab there from Darius Mafi.
Darius and Tate trying to hold the center of that cage. Aaron Cobourne happy to keep moving around on the outside.
Yeah, that's going to be the game plan here. He doesn't want to stand still, whether it's moving laterally around the outside or moving in and out, landing when he can. What he does want to do is stand in front of that big power hand and in range of the big takedown. He's got to use his counters, use his jabs, use his movement, and he's been doing that very well here.
Cobourne again relaxed in the pocket as well. You know, when they're both standing training, looks very comfortable there.
As we saw that dip from Mafi into the big left hook, you know, one of those lands, and that's potentially a fight changer. And they only need to land it once, and that's the gamble that Cobourne's going to be taking every time he steps in to engage here.
Nice again, just steps into that nice straight left. And swaps it up, going low to the lead leg. Now, at what point, you know, both these guys have some experience, but at what point do you start to get a little bit frustrated if you're Darius Mafi? As I say that, in on the takedown.
He's able to get on the hips, but Aaron Cobourne there with an incredible base.
Yeah, nice.
Very, very wide, and that makes this, well, makes the double leg impossible. He switched there for the single.
Oh,
he's going to high crotch him here. Big power takedown, but it's all for naught on that occasion.
Yeah, very good heavy hips by Cobourne, just stops Mafi from...
And Mafi choosing to disengage there rather than continue to fight for those takedowns against the cage. Oh, nice straight right hand there from Cobourne.
Oh, and the more that this becomes sort of a box. Oh,
he's
wobbled him!
What did we
Get
say?
power!
Steve? May only take one. Uses the wizard there. He's going to come out on top in this scramble.
And he wants to keep throwing.
And now it's Cobourne looking to close the gap.
Oh, I think Coburn's still feeling that one a little bit.
Big shots from Darius Mafi here. Is he going to gas himself out? Looking for the kill shot.
I mean, again, Aaron Cobourne, eyes very clear, wide open.
You wonder there if maybe he just took one behind the ear and it just shook his equilibrium for a moment.
Yeah, he certainly was on jelly legs for a moment.
Yeah, you know, initially you thought maybe that was a slip, but no, his legs were gone. He was doing the jelly baby dance there and immediately sits down in the corner.
Good recovery, though. I mean, got the clinch, got in close, gave himself a little bit of time to recuperate. And
that's exactly the thing, Steve. You know, he did look by the end of that round to be right back in it. And that could be a real issue here for Darius Mafi, because when Mafi saw that he wobbled his man, he put the hammer down. He went from 0 to 60 there, throwing huge, huge shots. Let's see how much he's got left as we head into this third round. Of course, we've got the championship rounds yet to come as well.
Absolutely. See if he's, pardon the expression, blown that proverbial wad early.
And the referee's actually brought the doctor into the cage here, and he's going to get the doctor to have a look at Aaron Cobourne here. I believe he's just going to do a quick concussion test.
Well, brilliant.
Absolutely. It should be happening everywhere in every show. Doctor's happy, referee's happy, the fight can continue.
Here we go. And then again, he took a little trip to Queer Street in the last round, ate a couple of shots, scrambled his brain for a moment, but he looks alert.
Now, what's going to be interesting here is how Mafi comes out, and he answered that question for me. Is he going to come out headhunting? Yes.
Yes.
Clearly he is. And if Cobourne's got his wits back with him, he could be looking to pick his man off here with a counter shot.
Absolutely. Big knee up the middle there from Darius Mafi, and working his man up against the cage. Pepper in the lower body with knees. Now drops down, tries to get underneath the hips.
Just grip those fingers, big pickup. Looks to strip the elbow here and put his man against the mat.
Again, it looks, you know, when we're looking at the screen, it looks like Darius is working incredibly hard. And it looks like Aaron's like, I'm just going to roll with this a little bit and see.
Yeah, he's very zen, isn't he?
Really relaxed, doesn't register any of the pressure or any of the bad positions on his face.
And you know, some guys show it more than others. I mean, you know, we're not questioning the cardio of Darius Mafi. You know, some guys, you know, we've seen guys go out there and look exhausted a minute into the first round and they're not.
Yeah. Darius now managed to get onto the back, got one hook in.
And clearly got a lot left in the tank here, looking to sink that forearm under the throat of Aaron Cobourne.
Yeah, Cobourne doing well, getting up against the cage, stopping that other hook from going in, but that's a strong man on your back, squeezing your chin and face in there. Again, look, I mean, to me, Cobourne could be waiting for a bus. He's got a man on his back intent to choking him out, and he looks like he's in a queue somewhere.
Darius Mafi staying very strong and solid on top here, giving Cobourne very few options in terms of an escape. Now, that's over the jaw. Coburn's not going to tap to that more than likely, but as we've said so many times tonight, Steve, it really is a game of inches, and if you can just get that little bit of purchase underneath that jawline,
trying again.
or if you can squeeze someone's jaw so hard that they tap out. We've seen it before. I'm sure we'll see it again.
Mafi, though, doing everything he needs to do in this round. Has had top position for ages. This is as dominant as we've seen around in this fight. Good submission defense.
Yeah, you might even be looking at the 10-8 there. And you know, I'm struggling to recall anything offensive that Aaron Cobourne did in that round.
No, very good shout for a 10-8, perhaps.
You know, there was one solid counter at the beginning of the round, which may have bought him his 10-9, but we'll see. Well, these are the championship rounds about to be underway.
And these are the ones that make the difference.
Aaron Cobourne, Darius Mafi. We're going to look to separate the boys from the men here. See which of these fighters will earn their FCC Amateur Bantamweight Championship.
Our referee just getting ready to clear out the seconds.
Yeah, and he just indicated to the corner of Darius Mafi there that they needed to towel him down. You know, he's sweating a lot there. Same for the corner of Aaron Cobourne. Just giving him a quick wipe down.
Well, 6 minutes left if they need it for the FCC Amateur Bantamweight title. Darius Mafi, the red corner, the white shorts, facing Aaron Cobourne.
Cobourne was very quick off the bell there after that touch of gloves.
Oh,
nice straight combination there. Mafi throwing the big hooks, and it's the straight counters, a little bit quicker from Aaron Cobourne.
Yeah, Cobourne coming down the middle, whereas Mafi's swinging a little bit looser and wider. And again.
That's what we talked about, Steve. Is he going to get caught with these faster counter shots now? He's still looking to headhunt with the big hooks here.
Nice level change under the hips, and Cobourne puts Mafi down on the mat.
And it looks like the nose of Darius Mafi might be a little bit busted there. It's certainly leaking a lot of blood, and at this stage in the fight, it's going to make that breathing a little bit more difficult.
That's all thanks to those crisp, straight shots that Cobourne was throwing.
I mean, they were as clean as you like, Steve. Really don't come much better than that. And you know, that was the worry going into that third round. Is he going to come out headhunting? Flatten his man out here.
Properly flatten him out, just looking to land some shots. Referee looking close.
Paul Crosley taking a close look at this one.
Yeah,
he needs Mafi to fight back here.
And that's a sucky position to be in, because every time he lets go of that wrist to try and change position, he eats a bunch of shots. He's torn halfway between being on his front and on his back.
And these aren't huge fight-ending blows, but it's the accumulation of damage here.
Absolutely, they don't need to be in. Oh, it turns into him. Oh, but beautiful. Cobourne happy to stay on this top position, not looking to.
Referee still taking a close look at this one, and Mafi can't look to capitulate at any point here.
I mean, he's been taking shots. As you said, none of them uber concussive for fight finishing, but just the sheer number, the repetition. Oh, I thought he was looking for the
They don't all have to
arm
be giant
triangle as
haymakers.
well.
If you don't fight back, the referee's going to stop it.
Looking to scooch out of that half guard, maybe take full mount.
Great stuff here from Aaron Cobourne.
I mean, as much as the third round went in Mafi's favor, this fourth, all Cobourne.
And, you know, could this be a 10-8 round?
Well, seen very little in the way of offense out of Darius Mafi in that round.
You know, in recent years, the language used in judging has been amended to make the 10-8 round applicable more liberally. So we could well be seeing a 10-8 round there. You know, fairly consistent one-way traffic.
Again, they really have been splitting these rounds, the last two especially. And what do you say to your fighters in that position? You know what I mean? Yeah, you've just come off a dominant round and been dominated. What do you say to your fighter if that happens?
I think this case, you know, you've got to try and tap into those, tap into the reserves, tap into the heart of these guys. You need to convince your fighter that he wants it more than the guy across the cage, because look, these guys have different skill sets, but skill-wise, this is pretty much a wash, pretty much even. You know, these guys could probably fight 10 times and win 5 each. It's going to come down, in my opinion, to who wants it more on the night.
Well, 3 minutes to find out, Brad. Touch of gloves and see if Darius Mafi looks to try and set the pace again. Secure an early takedown.
Yeah, 5th and final round. Oh, nice right hand there from Mafi, but a counter from Cobourne. The expression just hasn't changed on Coburn's face. Cool as a cucumber.
And
nice level change
leg.
there. Beautiful
Onto
single leg.
Steps over. Oh, both hooks in. No, sorry, one hook in.
Now
both
he's got
in.
both hooks. Solid position here.
And early in the round.
Oh, flattens his man out with efficiency there. Cobourne, though, able to fight it briefly. Looking for a big squeeze here. Is he underneath the chin of Aaron Cobourne? We can't see. Does he have enough for the big squeeze? Cobourne peeling the single hand off.
Yeah, it still looks awfully uncomfortable to me, but that's why I'm out here and not in there.
You know, Coburn's doing everything right here. He's fighting one hand with two of his. As long as he's fighting that hand, I mean, there's no way that Darius Mafi is getting a single arm rear naked choke at this stage in the fight.
No.
It's just not happening. And as long as he can keep hold of that second wrist, he's safe here. Of course, it's not looking good in terms of what the judges are writing down.
No, I mean, there's no reason. I mean, there's no reason at all that he's going to try and change it.
And there's the submission! It's over! What a fight! What a back and forth contest! What a victory for Darius Mafi! And my goodness, there's a man who's appreciating every moment of that victory, Steve.
Absolutely. Well, he was made to work for that victory. FCC titles aren't given away like candy, and
yeah, it's almost cruel, Steve, that one of these guys had to have their arm raised and one won't. But,
Great fight.
oh, absolutely. You know, and you think back to some of the key moments there. You've got Darius Mafi rocking his man in that second round.
Yep.
And Aaron Cobourne out on his feet, looking like he could be stopped in a second's notice. And then Darius Mafi eventually ending up on the back foot, looking like he was in serious trouble at points in the third and fourth round. Fifth round, we think, well, we're probably going to see a decision now. He comes out, puts his foot down, gets the rear naked choke.
Yeah,
What a
and
performance.
works for it. I mean, the first, he kept looking. Fair play to Cobourne, worked to try and defend. There was no quitting that kid, but a little readjustment. There's the tap, and there's your new bantamweight champion.
The key was getting that second hand free. He was then able to grab the wrist. Believe it was almost a short choke rather than the rear naked. Great stuff from the new champ. We'll throw it to our MC, Mr. Jonathan Millard, to make it official.
Fight of the night. 45 seconds of the fifth